Well, now we can reveal the person who was the first interview subject. We have resolved the serious dispute between Susan and Matt, and we've established Matt was our first talkback caller. Who was our first interview subject? This guy. His name is Mark Mitchell. He's the National Law and Order spokesperson. Mark, geez, a year ago, mate. A year ago. What the hell were we talking about? I can't remember.
It would have been Law and Order. I think you were grilling me about something. You were testing me on the numbers. But listen, happy birthday, you guys. I know how much effort it's taken, and what a great team you've got there. So well done.
Thanks, mate. And geez, we look at the last year in Law and Order, Mark. Those numbers, or the bad numbers, have gone nowhere but up, have they?
No, look, I had a public meeting in my own patch last night because at Stillwell bus station, robberies and assaults and disorder have gone through the roof, and same at the Whakapara Mall. So sadly, it's right through the country at the moment. Yeah. But I got to tell you a funny story though. I was at a meeting about a month ago, and I had a group of people come up to me, and they were big followers of yours and the platform. And they said, "Why do you refuse to go on the platform? Why won't you go on the platform?" I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I think I was one of the first politicians to go on the platform." I haven't declined an interview request.
Your boss doesn't seem so keen though, Mark. What is with that?
Well, obviously the NLO is managing and controlling in terms of lining up interviews and things like that.
Who's the NLO? National Leaders Office. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I can't speak for Chris, but look, I always enjoy coming on, Sean, and I think you probably remember that back in the days when National was last in government, you actually gave me some media training.
Yeah, I did. Gosh, full disclosure, I did too.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, see, it's birthday. I'm going to tell you a funnier story, though. Last election, right? And what was I doing last election? Geez, was I actually working or were we kicking around? I was just finishing up at Magic. It was sort of the end there. I get an approach last election, and listen, everyone, this has never been said publicly before. I get an approach from none other than Chris Hipkins' office to give him a media tune-up ahead of the 2020 election, right?
Yeah.
He's a cabinet minister. We sit there, we negotiate the whole thing with his staff. I'm charging like a wounded bull. I have the camera crew booked. We have the day, place and time booked.
Yeah.
A week beforehand, I get a phone call from this person, this very nice person who's moved on but was working in Chris Hipkins' office. Oh, we've got to cancel. And I said, look, I've got a written contract here.
Yep.
This is really unprofessional. Well, we just can't do it. Are you going to charge us, whatever? And I said, no, I'm not. And I said, so I'm suspecting that this got up to the Prime Minister's office, Jacinda's office. They said, no way, we're giving Sean Plunket a penny. And this person didn't say anything. They were smart enough not to say anything. I said, am I wrong? Look, I've just got nothing to say there, Sean. So we went our ways. Now, here's the real kicker. Well, so I was free, and I'm pretty cautious about how I train people, and I keep it, if you like, non-political when I do, as you would know. But then I get a phone call from, guess who? No, I get a phone call from John Tamahiri.
Oh, no way.
And he said, I would like you to media train Te Pāti Māori candidates.
Right.
And I did. Because of COVID, it got put off a couple of times, but I ended up spending a most interesting day at a marae next to the lake in Rotorua and took them through their paces and had a discussion about media engagement. So I always laugh and I see Chris Hipkins now and he won't talk to me. And it's all just a very strange world that we live in, isn't it, Mark?
It is. Well, you never know, Sean. Maybe with the election looming up, you might get another call, mate.
Yeah. Mark, look, talking about Law and Order, just to get back to that, we've been here in the premises in Manor Street, Wellington for a year, and I have raved a bit about, well, to be honest, the human detritus that occupies and lives on the street in Manor Street, the central street in Wellington, right? Mm-hmm. I would have rung the cops 12 times in the past 3 months this year for people sniffing glue, drinking, smoking drugs and interfering with people in broad daylight in that street. And yesterday, young Ruby, who works for us, Ruby was sitting in or waiting for a coffee outside a cafe just round the corner. One of these scum comes up to her, makes kissing noises and said, "Come with me, lady." She's been chased into the car parking building here. And we ring the police and nothing happens, Mark.
Yeah, well, in a situation like that, there should have been a strong police response. Look, the reality is this, Sean. They simply don't have the resources. They're dealing with a 33% increase in violent crime, 41% increase in victimisations, a 500% increase in ram raids, 60% increase in mental health call-outs, rising numbers of domestic violence and issues, and they, quite simply on the numbers, they're stretched. They have to prioritise and triage the information that comes through.
Yeah.
I'm not making excuses. Listen, police officers, in my experience, join the police because they want to protect and serve their communities. When their hand goes up for help, they want to be there. But when they're dealing with those sort of stats and that sort of rise in crime, it becomes very difficult to attend every job.
Yeah. Now, Mark, you may have also noticed that yesterday police released under the OIA some details around the Posey Parker event that shows...
read that yet.
Oh, okay, well, that's come out.
Yep.
They said they had 15 to 18 people assigned to that.
Yep.
Geez, for a thing that was going to have thousands of people there, that hardly seems adequate, eh?
Well, I've been very clear about this. That was a fail on the part of the police, because it doesn't matter whether it's Posey Park or who it is. If someone is in public and trying to exercise their freedom of speech, they should be able to do that without being assaulted. Yeah. And having the police there means that they're aware of the event. They should have had some intelligence. They should have planned properly for it, and they should have made sure that no one was assaulted, especially the person that was actually holding the event and was the main speaker.
Yeah. Now, Mark, I'm just going to ask you a question. This is just another topic now that I've got a live one here. You go into Parliament today, right? Parliament sitting in session this afternoon, right?
Yes, correct.
You go and sit in your seat. Who are you representing? Because it's a House of Representatives, right? Who does Mark Mitchell represent when he sits down? What rights he got to be there?
So I represent my electorate. I've been voted in by my electorate at Whangaparaoa.
Yep.
And my primary, and so when I go to Wellington, I'm representing them, their views, the majority positions on things. I'm fighting for infrastructure, for resources, and raising the issues that are important to us back home.
Right. And you do that as a member of the National Party?
Yes, I'm a proud member of the National Party, and of course we have collective responsibility around what we do and how we behave as a party in Parliament as well.
Yeah. Mark, if you fell out with the National Party, and it's a pure hypothetical, and you weren't a member of the National Party anymore, but you were still an elected electorate MP, what would you do?
Me personally, I would resign. Because I just think that I've been elected, although, I like to think that I have got personal support in my electorate and that people feel like I work hard for them. Ultimately, the party's brand is much bigger and much stronger than I am. So, often a lot of the support that will come to a national candidate is quite simply because they're a National Party candidate. Yeah.
Okay. You are going to be sitting in the chamber today. I don't know if she's going to be there. Who do you think Elizabeth Kerry will represent if she ever returns to the chamber? Who does she represent in that house?
Well, I mean, that's for her to identify and decide. I guess you could go back and have a look at what how many people voted for her personally in the last election.
None. She's a list MP.
That would be your answer.
She's a list MP, and she's now not even an MP in the party that she was on the list of.
But did she campaign in a seat, though?
I don't know, but she didn't win a seat.
No, so look, a list MP in a party, it's the same principle, really, is that she's in Parliament because she's a member of the Green Party.
What about Mika Whaitiri?
Mika's decision is obviously personal to her. I heard that she's going to be speaking in Parliament today to sort of talk to that. I don't want to pass judgment. We'll wait to see what Mika's got to say. Yeah,
it seems a bit odd though, Mark, doesn't it?
Well, it's obviously that she wasn't happy in the Labor Party, otherwise she would have stayed. So that one is obvious to all of us. But, she hasn't spoken publicly yet, and I heard that she will be speaking in the House today, so things might become a bit clearer.
All right, I hear you. Hey, Mark, I want to say thank you for a year ago. for being prepared to front up. And I actually want to say thank you to you, and you're one of those politicians and MPs who regularly fronts up and talks to us. I think it does you good. I think it does the collective knowledge of our audience and me good as well. And I'd like to think, Mark, that we do give people an alternate view, and we might be a bit of a conscience to the mainstream media to really do their jobs properly. I would like to thank you for helping us do that, actually.
Oh, you're welcome. And like I said, happy birthday to you guys. And, you've done something that is not easy to do. You've started a new media platform, and that's tough. So good on you. Well done. I wish you guys all the luck for the future. Look, at the end of the day, Sean, it's pretty simple for me, is that I'm not in this job forever. While I am here, I have a responsibility to come out and actually, if I'm asked to go on any media platform, it doesn't matter what it is, I'll front up for that.
We need more of yous, Mark Mitchell. Hey, have a great day. Thank you for your time this morning. Mark Mitchell, National MP, Law and Order spokesperson. He's been a busy boy in this last year, and thank you, Mark. He's one of the guys who'll front. And there are a lot of them who do, and I don't think it does them any harm whatsoever. Brenda says, happy birthday to the platform and me, my big 55th today. More reasons to celebrate. That's Brenda.